What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Lamonts G Custom Live Show, the number 3 podcast. Uh, Kind of pressed for time, and this may go a little bit long, so forgive me. I don't need to blab a lot on this one, so let me get straight to the point. Um, the lady who's missing out in Arizona, and my condolences go out to the family. She's missing. FBI's on it. All that good stuff. Um, as of the recording of this podcast, she has not been found. The FBI has put up $50,000 for any answers. Hopefully, they can get this lady found safe. She's the mother or grandmother of some high-profile news anchor. I want to say I'm not familiar with the story. I know it's on the last 2 or 3 days. It's been front page news, and I haven't did a deep dive, but when anyone's missing, a child or a parent, elderly parent, that's is crucial, and we want to get her found. As I was watching the newscast this morning, I they show the terrain around Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, where this is happening, and my goodness, I was somewhat familiar with the Southwest Texas area, not necessarily the state of Arizona. I've heard stories about from guys who have been out there that you got in some areas you got I'm thinking like in northeast or northwest Arizona you got the snow-capped mountains and what they call it that hole that the water done carved that Grand Canyon. You got that stuff out there. In Southern California and Nevada, these 4 states, see Texas and New Mexico as well, Nevada, Arizona, and California. These are deserts. South Texas is not necessarily a desert state, but Southwest Texas pretty much is. But the rest of these states are pretty much desert states when it comes to the southern and western regions of these states. And watching this newscast, if I drive around my area, whether it's Georgia, Tennessee, Northeast Alabama, you know, whether you're driving through a town or the country, you're gonna see a lot of pine trees, oak trees, um, that type of thing. And that's for 53 years, that's what I've seen. That's normal to me. When you go out there, when you see pictures and video tape of those areas out there, you don't see pine trees and oaks. You see cactus and all sort of desert plants. And I'm gonna be honest with you, especially in the flat areas. They showed a picture of the little town. This is happening in, I guess, right outside Tucson, and just like you will see in the western in the background, these huge mountains and this flatland desert town. I'm like, how do people survive out there, man? They got towns and it's heavily populated. I think Phoenix and Tucson and Albuquerque, have millions and millions of people. So I guess they found a way around it. But these are desert areas, man. That's incredible. I mean, I guess humans can inhabit any part of this globe, even the Arctic, if they have the right equipment. But that I just wanted to put that in there. The terrain was crazy looking. Showing this from drones flying over. Um, One more thing on this, and then I'm gonna get to my main topic. I did hear where they have sent a team from Quantico, FBI special team from Quantico, and they had this lady from Birmingham. I think she's about to get her master's in forensics, and they were all talking about it. A retired NYPD investigator. And listen, I've been in that game of investigation. It's a tough game, but I will say this: all the training that I received, all the schooling. You can go get your master's and go, like I did. Well, I didn't get a master's, but I went, I got some schooling in investigations. And no matter all that you can get, If you want to get some real training investigations, and especially forensic investigations, go to Quantico, Virginia. That FBI team up there is top of the line in the world. Nobody else on earth are better than those guys. That's the best training you could possibly get. As a matter of fact, a lot of municipalities and counties and states send their top chief investigators, up there to get training. And it's top of the line, man. And they have sent a team from Quantico on the scene down there to help out, and hopefully they can get this lady found safe. We hope. Our prayers are with the family. Uh, I wanted to do a little deep dive the other day into the story of Nicki Minaj. She's been in the headlines. She appeared with Turning Point USA, which is a beautiful organization. I don't care what these devils tell you. TPUSA is not a hate group. It's an educational group that try. All they want to do is turn young people into Christians, or help them find their Christian identity, I should say. Beautiful, beautiful organization. She has teamed up with TPUSA. She's also have teamed up with President Trump on his on that Trump accounts, which I think is absolutely wonderful. And see, that's what makes him different from any other individual who has led this country. And it basically is going to give any children born, I think, 2026 until 2029 or 2028 or something like that. They're gonna put $1,000 into their account. The parents can match it. Other people can put in, and by the time this child is 18, they'll have at least $50,000 to start life with. That's beautiful. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna get with my wife, and my daughter's 16, but at least try to start her up a little account, and for the next 2-3 years, as she's go through college, to give her a leg up. I didn't do that for my first two children. I didn't have the the knowledge or education to do that. I wish I would have. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna try to do that for my youngest daughter. But I think what Trump is doing is absolutely beautiful. But Nicki Minaj has caught heat because this woman has exposed the evil of the industry that she was in, the music industry. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I've seen this since I was that lifestyle, that living the life of a star or celebrity. Man, these are evil people, and she's starting to expose it. It's been exposed before. It's going to be exposed again. And how many people is going to listen to it, I don't know. But thank God she's on her Christian journey. She's uh, got her spirituality and seeking the love of Jesus, and that's a beautiful thing. And I'm on your side. I'm on your side, Nikki. I'm nobody. To you, I'm nobody on this earth, but I am a child of God, and that's a beautiful thing when you seek the love of Jesus. You on that journey, and God bless you. Um, so that brings me to the point of black folk, and you don't have to be Nicki Minaj. You could just be Joe Blow or Cindy Sue, being black, being conservative. Black folks, especially these democratic, slave-minded, plantation-serving Negroes, they gonna call you a coon, and all kind of names. You'll sell out your Uncle Tom, and I ain't gonna lie to you. 15, 20 years ago, that probably would have bothered me, and it don't bother me no more. Cause you know what? You call me an Uncle Tom a sellout. That's it is what it is. I know I'm on the right path. I know who you are when you do that. Just like children, when you in elementary school, your mom is fat. Your mom is ugly. That's what children do. And when you have a black individual serving the Lord, believing and loving Jesus Christ, calling himself a patriot, a conservative, then you a sellout, you a coon, really, you know. These people make me sick, but just like the great Vince Everett Ellis has said, they're ICE Democrats, they're ICE liberals, and what does ICE stands for? Ignorant, crazy, and evil. And I think the majority of the black folks are the ignorant part. They've been their minds have been for generations have been. They talk about generational wealth, or they talking about systemic racism. Black folks, and much their own fault, have been systemically enslaved mentally, for generations and generations. And um, the great people with podcasts and voicing out, Nicki Minaj was one of them. God bless you. Maybe if we could just reach one a day, I hope, hopefully more. I wish it could be thousands of people a day that get out of that mindset. But hell, if we just reach one, because I'm gonna tell you something. This prayer group that I'm in has hundreds and hundreds of black people in it, mainly black men, and they'll tell you 10, 15 years ago that they were all liberal. They were all liberal, and it takes time. The great Vince Everett Ellison will tell you, when he was in the politics, he was a liberal, he was a Democrat, and so many others, whether they're famous or just regular Joes like myself, will tell you they were liberal Democrats. That's the mindset that growing up, that's you had to be, or you was projected to be a liberal Democrat. I can honestly say I'm not in that group. Mentally, just who I am has never been liberal. Never. I've never looked at myself or called myself a liberal Democrat. Um, Even when I went into politics, I didn't even think about politics. I never considered myself a liberal Democrat. I voted for Bill Clinton once, and I voted for Barack Obama once. Not because I was a liberal Democrat, not because I thought liberals needed to, run this country. I honestly fell for their mumbo jumbo, their plan leading up to election. I thought, okay, that plan is great for this country, you know. And even though Bill Clinton balanced the budget, I think he left office with a balanced budget, which is incredible. I don't think that'll happen ever again. I hope it does, but I don't think so. Unless we have consecutive conservative presidencies, I don't see that happening. Now, his second term, and one of the ways he actually got that budget balance, he did a lot with the military, downsizing the military, and the city of Anniston, which is the area I grew up in, or right outside the area I grew up in, was devastated because they had Fort McClellan, had Anniston Army Depot, they had Pelham Range, they had so much to do with the military, and when they shut down Fort McClellan, that shut down the city of Anniston. Anniston has bounced back with the help of Oxford. Oxford has, just been a middle of the road type city or area, and now it's one of the top cities in the state of Alabama. So the area has bounced back since the closing of Fort McClellan, and the Anniston Army Depot did not close, but the stockpile of missiles and bombs they had over there were incinerated, and that area is gone. As a matter of fact, I think Chronospan and FedEx is developing on that property over there where that was, and yeah, and I'm trying my best not to get off on sidetracked and get off on these rants, but you get on one subject and you think about something, so you have to expound on it. But getting back to those are only two liberals I ever voted for in my life. And the Clinton, even though that destroyed my community, well, the area I live in, that presidency wasn't half destructive as Barack Obama. The rot and the I don't even know the word I'm looking for of the black community, and that was all because of Barack Obama, because he was talking about unifying and this and that. But you got to listen to his words leading up to his before he became president. It was rotten to the core, And many guys, white conservatives, was saying this, and I'm like, man, y'all just saying this because he a black dude. Well, why y'all doing it, man? I was like, Barack Obama, he gonna try this and he gonna try that. And they said, open your eyes, bro. Open your eyes. And I'm like, no, man, y'all just doing this because he's a black man. I had black anyway. And they were truthful. They were right on point. And his 2 terms was probably the worst thing for Black America. We got all this LGBT gay crap going on now. All this black. The funny thing, when he was elected president, I was in corrections at the time, working at the most dangerous prison in America, and you had prisoners talking about, yeah, we finna have a uprising because we got a black man as president. Nigga, you ain't going nowhere. Your ass gonna stay in that goddamn cell. You ain't going no damn well. But you had prisoners saying that. What do you think the free people out on the street was saying? Black power. We gonna do this and we gonna do that. What they did was turn homosexual. Toe touching, pink panty wearing sissies. That's where we are right now. Go to Atlanta. San Francisco's always been like that, but go to Atlanta, dude. Go to Houston. All you see is fucking sissies. We have no men in the black community. Well, very few men. Very few men. Everybody's a goddamn sissy. And I hate to keep using this profanity, man, but I don't know no other way of saying it. I'm trying to be Christian about this thing, but half of the black dudes are sissies. Half of the black cats out here are damn sissies. I ain't talking about the ones in prison. I'm talking about the ones you go to a HBCU and see who you welcome by. It's either going to be a feminist or it's going to be a sissy. You go to have to put spots in Atlanta, which I do not frequent Atlanta, but you're going to see feminists or sissies. That's what the Barack Obama presidency brought us. And we trying our best to get out of it now. I think we're making progress. But yeah, that whole Nicki Minaj thing bothered me because you got this black woman on her spiritual journey, and now the black folks coming for her. That Trevor Noah clown. He had a bully platform on the Grammys, and then he want to talk about it. You had the Kurt Franklin, which is a slime bag. He had to say his little 2 cents. These people are evil. If I could talk to every young person on this earth, because I got a young daughter, she's 16 and she loves Billie Eilish. These people are clowns. And I know when I was young, I listened to Two Live Crew and all, and I've told you before, Two Live Crew and all these other artists, and you got to grow out of that. But these people are clowns, absolute clowns, evil clowns. And she's exposing the child sacrifice that community is, the music industry, the Hollywood industry. These are pedophiles. These are evil ICE Democrats, ignorant, crazy, evil. Oh my goodness. I jotted this down because I saw a podcast that was talking about dealing with the separation of church and state. And I'm gonna end with this. I got plenty more to say, but I'll save it for another podcast. I got a little extra time tomorrow that I'm gonna do a more extensive, deep dive into some stuff. But yeah, in Texas, and I think this is over some Islamic stuff about they trying to run Islam out of the state of Texas. Good. But they was talking about you had an Islamic group, high school students that were handing out something having to do with hijabs and other stuff, the headgear and all that, and they was like, well, where's the ACLU? This is against church and state. Well, where are they? And I've also heard that that separation of church and state don't exist. That's just a talking point. I don't know. I haven't deep dived into that, but that brought me to thinking when I heard that yesterday. And yeah, I used that tomorrow. Go back to 1986, 87, 88. I remember when I played high school football and I made a touchdown. I didn't jump, scream, and all this, but I kneel and I said a silent prayer. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you for my safety, safety of my teammates and our opponents and everybody surrounding us. I said a little simple prayer. Every touchdown I made quite a few. And I can't remember what year. I want to say 87, 88, but that was a big thing in in the political world. I think it went all the way to the Supreme Court about prayer in schools. Now, my situation didn't bring any awareness to this, but it got me to thinking because I was approached by several entities about this, and it never got to a critical stage or anything like that. I was never threatened. The school was never threatened, anything like that. I think lastly, my senior year, my mama said, what do you do when you make the touchdown and you go to a knee? I said, Mama, I pray. I thank the Lord. Not for making a touchdown, but I thank the Lord for the health of myself, my teammates, our opponents, and the people in the stand. I said that, I simply do that. And I can remember, and this has been 30 plus years ago, but I can remember, some congressional stuff going on, talk. I can remember some Supreme Court talk. I can't remember what it all came down to. I think, honestly, I can't remember what happened. I have to go do a little studying on that, but I never stopped. Now I know in recent years you had a coach in Utah, Colorado, somewhere. He was fired or dismissed because he had his team say a prayer before and after the games, and he was dismissed. And I think the Supreme Court, ruled against him, and he was able to get his job back or receive some back pay or something. But that just got me to thinking. When I heard the story about the Texas Islamists and the separation of church and state, I have been involved with a lot of things in my life. That a lot of them I'm proud of, a lot of them that I'm not. But that was one thing that I was super duper proud of because nobody's going to stop me from thanking my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. I would die first. I give thanks to Him every second I breathe because He is the reason that we walk upon this earth. And nobody was going to stop me then. Nobody's going to stop me now. Period. But I am about to do some things. I'm going to try to get a little bit more in depth on this news stuff. When I download this podcast, it may be a day after. So hopefully, when you guys see this, maybe the lady will be found. Maybe some things in the world has changed a little bit. But as always, I appreciate you. I love you, and you guys be blessed. And never let anybody stop your progress. And when you come upon individuals who want to talk about you and down just because you serve the Lord, of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, or just because you're a black conservative, white conservative, Chinese conservative, you know, you got God on your side. You got God on your side. You got love on your side. And remember, I know I know how bad you want to hate these people. You want to hate them with all your heart. You want to wish death on them. But we can't do that as Christians. We can't. We have to love these people. We have to pray for them and sincerely pray for them. Because remember, when it comes to ICE Democrats, ICE liberals, ICE communists, the first letter is ignorance. And you can change ignorance. You can't change crazy. You damn sure can't change too much evil without the help of God. But just in general, you can change. You can influence ignorance. You can get medical help for crazy, and you have to pray a whole lot to God to get rid of the evil. But that I and ICE, we can work on. So just remember that. But I love you and I appreciate you, and I will see you next time.